Lateral communication. Okay, team, I just want to thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. As you know, Spokes of Hope Worldwide has developed a partnership with the Society for New Americans. This nonprofit assists refugees and immigrants as they make their transition into the United States. We will be providing bicycles to these communities to make access to jobs and education easier. We will also be meeting and interacting with individuals from around the world, from different cultural and ethnic backgrounds. In your packet, you will find the key cultural concepts that will be observed in order to make a high level customer service available to these individuals. Many of you have already looked over these materials and have already voiced your concern with the implementation of these practices. Today, we're going to discuss the concerns and we'll be dividing up tasks among the departments. Cultural competence. So as we have discussed at prior meetings, understanding the cultures, beliefs, and behavioral etiquettes of various societies is vital in the success of this endeavor. This cultural competence will be introduced into our company's value system and will provide a safe and welcoming atmosphere to the communities that we serve. The Public Relations Department has done some great research to help us understand the different aspects of cultural competence. They noted that the National Center for Cultural Competency advises us that we learn about, acknowledge the needs, values, beliefs, and behaviors of each cultural community. Implement these procedures and practices, mannerisms, and behavior that will match the needs of the individuals that are being served, and understand that social norms that are practiced within our communities may not be practiced or acceptable in the areas that we are serving. Several of you have asked me how we will learn about the various cultures that we are assisting. I've requested that the SNA provide us with client profiles so that we can properly prepare ourselves prior to meeting with our clients. The PR department and the training department will be doing research on the cultures that we will be assisting, and they will develop some leaflets that provide more information about specific cultural norms. Cultural impact on communication. Now we all know how easily poor communication can create roadblocks in any project. Proper communication between cultures is tricky, but it is extremely vital that we ensure that we are properly communicating with our clients and making sure that we are meeting their needs. Many communities have very strict social norms about acceptable forms of communication. Cultural relativism can vary greatly across societies. Properly communicating in a manner that is respectful to the clients that are being assisted is vital in establishing positive relations. Stacy's team took the lead on looking into the possible cultural impacts on communication. They came across an article called Introduction to Society that encouraged us to remember that when assisting clients, that various gestures, signs, symbols, body language jargon, and colloquialisms that are acceptable in the United States may be seen as offensive outside this country. Using figurative language and regional expressions or sayings that may not always translate well to someone who does not speak English as a first language can cause confusion. Unfamiliar accents may also be a factor in miscommunication. Handling unfamiliar cultural cues. Of course, this presents another issue. What do we do when we are presented with unfamiliar cultural cues? Luckily, John's team has answered our questions. They came across an article called Nonverbal Communication in Cross-Cultural Interactions that reminds us that it is important to anticipate that our clients will show us the types of communication that are acceptable for them. When presented with unfamiliar verbal cues and gestures, it is important to follow the lead of the client and mirror their actions. Remember that as a representative of this organization, it is important for you to be willing to modify your behavior to meet the client's needs, rather than expecting them to adjust their behaviors to meet your needs. When conversing with clients, ensure that you are speaking at a slow, steady pace. This will ensure that the client can absorb the information that you are providing. In addition, intentionally allowing for silence during conversations will invite the client to ask questions and will allow you to be a more active listener. It is also a good idea to try to put yourself in their shoes. Most of us have not relocated to a new country before, but we have all felt some kind of cultural shock in our lives. For example, look at how age can affect communication. Most of us have had to assist older family members and how to use computers or cell phones. Most millennials were taught these technologies in school, while their grandparents may have never used computers on a regular basis before. All of us have had to assess the type of language and tone that we use when trying to explain computer programs to someone who is technologically illiterate. We learn to talk more slowly, watch their facial and bodily expressions for signs of confusion, and we avoid the use of acronyms. Using these same types of accommodation with our clients can help foster positive communications. Culture's impact on interpersonal relationships. I would like to take a moment to thank Daniel's team and the legal department for contributing to this next section, which is culture's impact on interpersonal relationships. One commonly overlooked factor is the safety of our clients. Of course, we are excited to meet them and set them up for success, but the neighborhoods that they are residing in may pose a risk factor to them. Please remember that while immigrating to a new country can have many positive implications, it can, for many, be a difficult choice as the move takes people out of their familiar settings and removes them from friends and family. Forming multicultural relationships in an American setting can be difficult. The article, Why Can't We Be Friends? Multiple Cultural Attitudes and Friendships with International Students, explains some of the difficulties that our clients may face. It is important to keep in mind that our clients may be moving to areas known for ethnocentrism. An inability or unwillingness to understand foreign cultures may result in racial tensions, leaving our clients vulnerable to be the subject of violence, crime, or harassment. The ability to be open-minded to cultural differences will increase the likelihood of a successful relationship being formed. Through the process of acknowledging and accepting cultural differences, it becomes easier to realize the cultural universals that are shared throughout societies. Cultural apprehension among communities is common and is frequently the result of uninformed biases and stereotyping. As we and our clients continue to expose ourselves to different cultures, this apprehension will decrease. The benefits of cross-cultural relations. Finally, Greg Gears has asked me to research and stress all the benefits of cross-cultural relations. As we all know, while global markets are converging, cross-cultural interactions are becoming part of the everyday experience of many professionals. I found an article called Building Effective Business Communications Across Cultures. It states that part of the benefit of cross-cultural relations are the ability to network with people that you may not otherwise have access to. By investing in these relationships, negotiations and partnerships become more successful. Mentorships that may develop throughout the use of well-established partnerships, which can greatly influence the success of junior partnerships or forums, and cohesiveness that may develop within a team as senior project members note the strengths and weaknesses of each employee. The complementary personality types may be paired up in order to facilitate a more successful team. Thank you again to all the teams that have contributed to this research and will assist in implementing procedures to ensure our clients are well cared for. The partnership with the Society for New Americans is an exciting way for us to continue to meet these needs of individuals and families in our community. By branching out and being able to assist in various cultures, we not only strengthen our brand, but we strengthen ourselves. Implementing the concepts noted above will be the foundation of ensuring we meet the needs of our clients in order to get them the resources they need in order to be successful. This opportunity is just the beginning of what our organization can do to change lives forever.